Greetings, witches, and all are welcome. Athena the Witch here. It's been a while since I've been on, and I wanted to come and talk to you about our saying goodbye to summer and ushering in the fall. Now, I know some people are going to be upset, okay, because basking in the sun, going to the beach, and doing all those wonderful outdoor activities with the sun is going to come to an end soon. Let's face it, we're 22 days from fall. And I think what's occurring, especially here in Jersey, we're having how do I say it, a couple of very hot days before we're going to start to see some cooler temperatures. And it's going to be what's called Indian summer. So, coupled with some humid days on top of that. But for the most part, if you've gone to the stores, it's full of items for Halloween, for Thanksgiving. I've even seen some stores with Christmas stuff. Unbelievable. It's getting a little bit ahead of the game, but okay, I guess merchants have to make their money too. Um, but I wanted to talk about saying thank you. Thank you to the sun god, the sun. Thank you to God. Thank you for the wonderful, wonderful weather that we've had and the ability to go out and enjoy and to actually give thanks for our blessings. You know, we're ushering in the last harvest soon, and we're plentiful. You know, we have enough to eat, especially if you have a garden like I do and you have been living off of that garden. It's really a wonderful thing. So, with that, you know, we celebrate and say thank you to Mother Earth and say thank you to Sun God for, you know, letting us have such a nice, nice summer. I mean, overall, it hasn't been too hot. It's been quite enjoyable, really, so that you could get out there and enjoy the weather, you know. Um, but like I said, the stores are now packed with items for Halloween. And see my little cup here. Oh, I'm crazy. I collect cups. And one thing I've seen, which I'm not too keen about, um, I don't know. I guess everyone has to make a living, obviously. But you're seeing a lot of Halloween items, plates, cups, with Mickey Mouse on it. Now, I love Mickey Mouse. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big Mickey Mouse fan. I just don't like Mickey on Halloween stuff. That's just me. Okay. So the other day, I had an incident where I gave my husband his dinner on my favorite witch plate. And all of a sudden, I'm here in my room, my witchy room, and I hear crash. So I run out. Didn't make a big deal of it. I just looked at the plate on the floor, looked at my husband. He goes, I am so sorry. He said, I wanted to put it on the nightstand and I lost it. It fell off and broke. I didn't make a big deal about it. I said, okay, yeah, it happens. You know, I'll get another plate. Can't find that plate. I've gone through all the home goods stores that you can possibly think of, to Marshall's, Burlington, went all over cold. Mm-mm. Oh well, I guess it had its time. Got some more plates, but it's not like the one he broke. But okay. So there's such a thing as a lesson in that. Don't get attached too much to things because they're not here to stay forever. Yeah, that's a hard lesson to learn, but true, right? So I hope you're enjoying your tea, your coffee, whatever drink that makes you relax. And join me for a talk tonight on autumn. If you look at the stores, there are clearances all over on clothes, summer clothes, and now we're getting the fall clothes and winter clothes. And it's such an eye opener to see the new styles that are out there and the prices. Okay. Um, they've gone sky high. Even clearances aren't what they used to be. Okay. But all that goes with what we are expecting. You know, I've seen a little bit of some leaves falling already. And I'm not really surprised because we've had a dry summer. And we also had a big fire out here um, in the Pine Barrens. A plane crashed, a small plane, and that set off a huge fire. So if you were outside walking or driving with your windows open, you can smell it and the burnt feeling of, the grass and the trees. And you could see the smoke, the black cloud and white cloud all around it. Thank God that's under control now. But yeah, that's usually what happens, unfortunately. But you know, thinking of the fall, I'm thinking of all the great things to bake, to cook. Oh gosh, I have a smorgasbord of stuff to do. And every Sunday when I go to church, actually starting this Sunday coming, we're going to open up the Hard Rock Cafe again, which is a place where we meet after, church, and all the members gather around. Everybody, signs up one week to the next to bring something to eat. Um, it could be, I don't know, a quiche type of dish, um, you know, um, whatever, casseroles galore, and a lot of pies, a lot of cakes, things like that. So I'm looking forward to that. And the choir is starting. So we're rehearsing again this Thursday for Sunday. So that should be very interesting. We have a new choir director who is phenomenal. And this is my other side of me because, as you all know, I believe in God, I attend church, but no one says you can't be a Christian and be a witch at the same time. Okay. And if they do, they don't know what they're talking about. Because I know many witches that are Jewish, Christian, Catholic, and Indian. So there you go. But yeah, it's ushering in a new season coming. Things are changing. I can already envision all the meals that I'll be cooking around the harvest and getting ready for Halloween. And there are some recipes that I will be sharing with you, which actually come from Grandma and my Appalachian grandma. Um, Grandma was a great cook. And although my mother tried to do a good job, it wasn't like Grandma. it, you couldn't touch it. I mean, Grandma loved cooking and poured her love into cooking and used a lot of herbs, okay, to give taste to her food. And it was something that you had to taste and treasure because it was unique. And now that she's been gone a long time, since 1969, only once did I go to a Greek restaurant, and it's called Costa's in Egg Harbor, and I ordered souvlaki, and I actually had tears in my eyes. And the owner came to me and he said, Madam, what's wrong? Why are you crying? Is it no good? I said, no good. I said, I haven't tasted food like this in 40 years. I said, maybe even more, maybe 50 years, okay? I said, that's how my yaya made food. I said, and thank you so much for bringing back those memories. And he held his hand to his heart and he said, you have no idea the pleasure you've given me. I said, likewise, trust me, likewise. So, yeah, you know, so these are the things, food brings back memories. Desserts bring back memories. Grandma used to make an incredible rice pudding that I've never ever tasted anywhere else. Okay. Um, and I've tried to duplicate it, ain't happening. Okay. So, excuse me. So, all of these months and seasons that come our way, we get to do different things. And I can't wait to start baking my pumpkin pie, my apple pie, my cherry pie. Um, Love to do those things. And also my stews. I love to do stews and my rack of lamb and all these things. Just share with me, the yellow squash and the green squash and the pumpkin. Ah, I just love it. Now, my husband on the other side is not a vegetable person. How I got involved with this, I don't know. I grew up eating fresh vegetables all the time. We had the A&P across the street. We had the food market right next to, on the corner, if you will, and the fish store and Gus's candy store. And my mother and grandmother, well, grandma, as she was getting older, she didn't go, but she would give us a list, and the kids, grandkids went and bought the fruit and the vegetables that she wanted. And we always had fresh. I think the only thing that we ate in a can, if I can remember well, is bumblebee tuna, white tuna, and occasionally we ate, um, you know, uh, tomatoes, like, in a sauce. But again, most of the time she made her own sauce. So we would just bring the tomatoes and she would make them. And I was in the thrift shop the other day, and I go in there from time to time. Um, and my house is not a house with all new stuff. It isn't. And the reason for that is I would love to live in a early American colonial house. I love the woodwork. I love the wood. It's not compressed wood, it's solid wood. Okay. Um, when we moved here, my husband needed a desk for his office. I needed a desk for my witchy room. And we went to stores. We went to Ashley's. We went to Value City. We went to Huffman Coos. I mean, we went around and looked at furniture. And the furniture that was solid wood was way out of what we could afford. We're senior citizens. So when you're looking at, a bookcase, $750. No, sorry, I can't pay that. So where we moved, I got to get in my car and drive around, and just straight down the street from where I am is a thrift shop. So I go in and I looked and I got on the phone and I called my husband. I said, bring the truck down. He goes, what? I said, you're not going to believe what I just found in this thrift store. Bring the truck down. So he brings the truck down and bought a bookcase, solid bookcase. Okay. $14.99. Okay. A desk. My desk. $14.99. My husband's desk, which is twice the size of my desk, okay, $22. A swiveling chair made out of solid wood, $7.99. How can you go wrong, right? So I don't care if this was owned by someone else, okay? Put it in my house and I cleared all negative energy that may have been around it. And I make great use out of it. So you can find very nice things off the cuff, at a thrift shop. So I go in every week, all right? And like I said, in the move, I've lost quite a few things, okay? And one of the things is my husband likes London broil, and so do I. But I hate cutting it, basically, because I don't have the power in my wrist to constantly be going like this. And I have to make it very thin because my husband doesn't like it thick, And so what do? I look for my cutting knife, electric cutting knife. Well, I have the machine, but only one blade, so that's not going to do it. So I figured, one of these days I may find it in the thrift store. Well, guess what? I did last week, and it was $4.99. How can you beat that? Okay. Another thing I found, which I had when my kids were small, was a dehydrator. Now, I don't know if you know what a dehydrator is, but it has many layers of round circles. And these are plates stacked up on top of each other. And what did I use it for back then? Mostly I used it for cutting up bananas and drying them, fruits, drying the fruits like raisins, grapes into raisins, peaches, pineapple, and all of these things, fruit-wise, I had for the kids throughout the whole season for them to snack on. I would dry green beans. I would dry tomatoes, okay? I would dry all kinds of vegetables so that I would have it through the year to use. And I found it, $4.99. I couldn't believe it. I come in the door, my husband says to me, "What did you buy now?" I said, "You won't believe what I found." He goes, "Yeah, I do." So I showed him. He goes, "What are we going to do with this?" I said, "I could use this." I said, "Like I did in the day, drying up the fruits and vegetables." I said, "But here's another thing I can use it for." He said, "What's that?" I said, "When I make my cone incense, instead of waiting 1 or 2 days for it to dry it in a couple hours." So he starts laughing. But this is what I'm saying. I'm a witch. I believe in bargains. I believe in not throwing anything out, always finding a use for something that I can make something different out of. I have bottles galore, all different shapes of bottles, and I use them. And they come in handy, Excuse me. So this is what I'm saying. You can find your treasure in the thrift shop, okay? I don't know if I told you this, but as again in the move, 2 of our flat screen TVs were broken. So we had to go out and buy 2 new ones. Now, in a way, I really wasn't anticipating that. I didn't want to spend that kind of money. But in another way, I was kind of happy because we had 2 44-inch screens. And we really wanted bigger screens, okay? So we got a 65 for the living room. But what we found out was it was longer than our mantle on the fireplace. So that wasn't going to go there. So now that one's in a bedroom, and the 55 is on a mantle. Okay. And I couldn't believe how the prices came down on flat screen TVs, because that 44-inch that I had, one of them our son bought for us. And back then, that was like $500 that he paid for that. And then the one I bought was around there too. We only paid $600 for the 65. And I think we paid $500 for the 55. And these are smart TVs. And I'm like, you can't beat it, you know? So I'm always looking for bargains. But what I did not realize was that there was no hookup for my VHS player and my DVD player. And so my husband, in all his infinite wisdom, got rid of my boxes, my DVD, my VHS. I said to him, why on earth did you do that? Without telling me. He goes, can't use it, can't hook it up. What are we keeping it for? I said, because I'm going to find a TV that I can use it on that has hookups. He says, forget about it, blah, 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 blah. See, I have a lot of videos of when the kids were small, when they played all these sports, baseball, basketball, soccer, softball, you name it. And so they're all on VHS. And then I have a lot of DVD tapes of movies that I really enjoy. And from time to time, I like to watch again. So I was mad because, again, the witch in me, we don't throw anything away, okay? So we're at our church bazaar, and people had brought things from home that they were donating to raise money for church. And I see on a table a TV, a 24-inch, and it said $5 on it. And immediately I looked for the hookups. It had it. I went over to my husband. I said, Bobby, I'm buying this TV. He said, what? He says, what are you going to do with that? I said, I'm going to put it in my witchy room. Okay. I said, because now, I said, I'm going to have to find a VHS and a DVD player that you threw out on me. Okay. And I'll probably find it at the thrift store. And he just shook his head and was like, oh my God. All right. $5, I buy the TV. Next week, I go to the thrift store. I find the VHS machine. Brought it home. $7.99. Week later, I find the DVD. Brought it home. $4.99. So now I had to hook it up to the TV. Now, I come in the room when I want to watch the VHS tapes or a movie on TV or whatever, okay? And I sit in my chair with my cat, Misty, on my lap, and we watch TV or we watch the VHS or the DVD tapes. So you can do a lot of things, buying from a thrift store. Candles. I get candles galore from the thrift shop that have never been used, okay? And I'm such a candle person all over the place, which makes my husband very nervous, having been, a retired fire chief. And he always says, did you check to make sure that you shut out all those candles in the room before you left the room? I said, yes, dear. Yeah. And that's true. You do have to be very careful Just like my incense burner, for example, you know, I basically never put it down on anything without like a metal plate and something that's fire resistant. Okay. And because I have my cat in this room, I never leave anything burning and leave the room because you never know what Mitzi's going to do. I mean, she's a very good cat, and she has not really created any havoc, but you never know. So you got to be careful because things can catch fire very easily, and there's a lot of stuff in this room. Let me tell you. I had a friend that came in the other day and she goes, "Oh my God." She says, "You don't have room to put anything else in here." I said, "Yeah, I know." I said, "But it's amazing how I always find room somehow, somewhere." Yeah. What can I tell you? So these are the things that I like to do. The fall's coming. I'm going to go out and enjoy walking through the forest, walking amongst the leaves falling on the ground. I can't wait to rake my front yard and my backyard. And my husband, he laughs. He goes, "I don't know anyone that enjoys raking like you do." I said, "Because it's so beautiful. It's nature. The leaves are giving up, the trees are giving up their leaves and they're changing colors, and these are multiple earth tone colors that are gorgeous. All right." I said, "I love to get in the car and drive into these areas, especially farmland, where they have these roads with tree line roads, and you could see the multiple colors on the trees and on the ground, and it's like a fairy tale. It's gorgeous. And the weather's not too cold, it's not too hot. It's kind of like a little in the beginning. I would say September to October. It's kind of like Indian summer type weather. Um, but yeah, and you start seeing pumpkins all over the place. And I'm going to show you how you can create a blessing to put on your front porch or in front of your house or the back of your house, wherever you want, that is a protection so that no harm comes in your home. Okay. Um, and this is good to ward off any intruders or any kids that want to do cabbage night, as they call it, or goosey night in certain areas. That's what they call it, to wreak havoc and mischief. Okay. Some of them call it mischief night. Okay. But in general, you know, um, it's a good thing. And I'll show you, it doesn't involve a lot. Okay. It involves a pumpkin, and we'll talk about carving the pumpkin, making all those spooky faces. Okay. So I really, really am geared up for that. Halloween is my favorite time, and I will be going to Salem, Massachusetts from October 27th and leaving on the 29th because I have to go back to work. But I'm bringing a friend with me and showing her all the places. And I just love Salem, whether it's in October or not. Um, I just really love Salem. A lot of people there, like minded people. And we get to share, information and things like that. I worked there for 10 years doing tarot readings, stone readings, and aura photography. Um, Very good time. Very good time. So, and then, Thanksgiving and being with family and doing the traditional Thanksgiving turkey and making everyone's favorite pie. Um, with my children, it was like Michael liked coconut pie. Jimmy liked cherry pie, but she liked apple pie. And my daughter liked, oh gosh, peach pie. Okay. So, yeah, um, I like everything. I like everything. So, and it was like, the soups, the squash soups, the pumpkin soups, and also don't throw away those pumpkin seeds once you carve your pumpkin, okay? Um, you do a lot of spells with them too. We'll talk about that as well, okay? But yeah, so much to be thankful for. And in the fall, there are so many craft shows that you can go to. Um, it, it amazes me the creative mindset of people, um, what they bring to the craft shows. And I'm like, this is phenomenal. Every year it's something new. And I'm not a big craft person only because there's no place to put anything else. My husband bought a huge shed and now he's talking about buying another shed. Uh, you know, we have so much stuff for two people, it's ridiculous. Um, I do have to start looking at what I can give to the Goodwill. We're always bringing stuff down there, anyhow, because somebody's trash is somebody's gold, so to speak. You know. Um, oh, and another thing that I found at the thrift store. I don't know if I told you this, but one morning I had this big Keurig machine, and I have a small red one that I used to keep in my office, but now I don't have to do that anymore. We have a big one. Um, And so I get up in the morning and I go to make my coffee because I'm a coffee drinker. Okay, excuse me. And it's not working. Oh, I check the plug. No, plug's on. Change the socket. Still not working. Okay. So I go in and say to my husband, well, I hope you like tea. I said, because coffee's not working anymore. He says, what happened? I said, I don't know. It died. You know. So came home from work that day. My husband brought out the little Keurig that we have and came home from work and went to the thrift store. Would you know it? There was the Keurig, the same one that we have, $7.99. So I said to the girl, is this, you know, really gonna work? Or, she goes, it has the barcode on the side. She says, you have 14 days. If something happens, you bring it back and we'll give you your money back. Okay? And that was the same deal that she told me for the VHS and the DVD. Um, Brought it home, cleaned it. It looked like it was brand new, hardly used. And it works perfect. Perfect. And that originally cost us, when we bought ours, $169. So I can't say enough about the thrift store. And I see people go in there and they buy clothes off the rack. I've bought clothes off the rack. I mean, sometimes you see these things and you go, why is someone giving this away? Well, it doesn't serve their purpose anymore. It'll serve someone else's purpose. So, yeah, Halloween decorations in there, Christmas, Thanksgiving decorations for fall, you know, um, unbelievable, unbelievable. So, yeah, getting ready for fall, you know. And also, here's another thing that you may benefit from that I did with my kids. I made sure that the transition from summer to fall, that I would have them drink teas certain teas that I made with honey and lemon and herbs, so that would build up their immune system so they wouldn't come down with colds and the flu and stuff like that. Uh, and it was very successful, I have to say. Um, and I continue to do this because I don't know if you're aware, but as a nurse, um, a lot of COVID is coming back. And in October, we're going to be in the flu season. So take your precautions, make sure your immune system is strong. Take that vitamin D, okay? Um, what I did initially, and this is something you may not know, but vitamin D is just not a vitamin D. Okay, it helps the immune system as well. Okay, so vitamin D with vitamin C. Okay, melatonin, 5 milligrams of melatonin, um, and zinc. Okay, 50 milligrams of zinc. You take that at night, and it protects your immune system. All right. Um, so that's another thing to do. I know some people scoff at it and laugh, but it really, really did help. So I'm not saying you won't get COVID, but it won't land you in the hospital. Let's put it that way. So just a piece of advice there. Um, Something that helped me, okay, and my husband. The other thing with fall is, time of reflection. We are winding down. It's a time to do things in the home um, that you haven't had a chance to do because you were outdoors so much. Okay. Time to maybe do your journal, your book of shadows. Time to write letters, or, yeah, believe it or not, some people still write letters. It's not always on the computer. Okay. To loved ones, to family, um, or to start crocheting and making things. It's just a nice time to unwind and relax a little bit. And then, of course, as we go into the winter, that's a whole other thing. But fall has its own feeling, its own scent, if you will. I can feel it coming. And I know we're 22 days away from it, but I can feel it coming. And the wind is starting to pick up, and that's bringing that smell, if you will. And in the morning, the temperatures are lower than what they were, like in some areas, 50, 60. So it's coming. It's there, you know. And some people start feeling it in their bones, you know. So that's another thing. But it's a wonderful time. It's a time that you can get together with friends and family and take your grandkids or your children pumpkin picking, apple picking, and then bake with them, carve those pumpkins with them. Um, it's just a wonderful time. It's so magical. So I wish all of you to enjoy that, um, to look forward to it. I know the stores are having a field day. People are going in there buying so many things for Halloween and the harvest. Um, and it's the anticipation of fall is beautiful, really. And before you know it, those trees will be bare and the leaves will be gone and winter will follow. So take the time to reach out and do some yard work that needs to be done. Take some time maybe to help your neighbor who is not able to do yard work, you know, and needs some help, a volunteer, you know, um, do some witch festivities, go to some witch fairs, events, things like that. Um, it's just a very magical time, and I could never live in a state that didn't have the four seasons because every season is special. But fall is magical. It brings me alive. I can't tell you how much it brings me alive. Um, Everything is, even the color of your clothes, you know. And my husband and I got married in the fall. Actually, I said to my husband, you know, we should plan our wedding for October 31st. And he gave me the strangest look. He said, you want to give the minister a heart attack? I said, that was just a thought. We got married October 21st. And, but all our decoration actually had to do with the fall. We had, actually, we rented the Elks place, and you know, they have those big round tables that sit 8 or 10 people. So I bought tablecloths that were the colors of autumn, you know, mustard yellow, green, orange, burgundy, you know, that kind of thing. And then I made different pieces to put on the table. One was a pumpkin and had, you know, like a sunflower out of it and some other flowers. And others was a bowl, and I carved out the small apples and put tea leaf candles in there floating in the water. You know, I mean, there was just so many things that I did. Some tables had lanterns on them, you know. Um, and then the whole outside had bays of hay and pumpkins and scarecrows and lanterns and a little wagon, you know, with pumpkins in there, different type of pumpkins and straw. And then um, the cake that we had, um, my husband wanted to get a cake from someone that he knew casually, and they quoted us as $850, and I said, no way, no way. Went to ShopRite. $250, 3-tier cake, okay, and a whole sheet just in case we didn't have enough from that. Um, and then the roses around the 3-tier cake reflected the colors on the tablecloths. So, and then we had a catering service from town that I knew of, and we went in there and discussed what we wanted and everything. And he set it up and put everything in place. I mean, it was so nice, you know. Um, so yeah, I mean, you can celebrate in ways. If you are going to get married in the fall, you can really, when I say that it only cost us $3,000 for all the decorations I did, and I did them myself. I did the church decorations as well. We paid the minister, okay? We paid the rental hall. We paid for the catering service, okay? All of that, $3,000, okay? Sure, it wasn't this elaborate, you know, beautiful wedding, you know, with a staircase coming down, you know, and an 8-course meal. But you know what? This is our second marriage, and for us, it was like, and I didn't wear white. I mean, I guess I could have, but I didn't want to. I wore a fall color dress. Um, it's just that, I don't even know how to explain it, but we didn't feel the need for that. I mean, my husband wore this very nice um, light brown corduroy suit with a burgundy tie because my dress was a burgundy flower dress and shirt. And I mean, he looked fantastic. So, yeah. And it's something that, we'll treasure forever. And it doesn't have to be, not that I have anything against elaborate weddings. No. I think if you can afford it and if this is what you want, then go for it, you know. But in our stage of life, we didn't feel we needed that. And not that we could afford it either. So, but we're very happy the way things turned out, and everyone had a great old time. So, yeah, that's my story about the fall. It's a time of the year where everything is just so magical. Take advantage of it. Go pumpkin picking, apple picking, make those pies, make those casseroles, reach out to family and friends and enjoy the togetherness and that warmth that you cannot get anywhere else other than when you're with family and friends. Okay? So, if you have any questions, we will be looking at fall and doing those pumpkins and those recipes, okay, as well. And I'm hoping by next week I can also do the cone incense with you, okay? So have a great evening, everyone, and God bless, spread his blessing, and I will see you again. Take care. Bye bye now.